Hi everyone! Welcome to day 17 of 24 days to a crafty Christmas. It's a little video diary series that Mr. InStitches and I have been doing this year. Hopefully I will be getting to some gift wrapping today. That's the plan anyway. I find I end up doing a lot of it on the 24th, so I'm sort of still wrapping stuff late into the night, and it's nobody's fault but my own. I love to wrap gifts and I like to spend a lot of time on each one, which is probably why I end up doing so much of it on the last day. But I hope to do some today, and I don't always use plain old Christmas wrapping paper, so I thought I would share with you some of the things that I've used in the past and some of the stuff that I'll be using this year, in case you're looking for some fun alternative gift wrapping ideas of your own. So I'm going to start with what you actually wrap the gift in. I've used in the past newspaper, which I love. I love the look of black and white newsprint, all wrapped up under the tree with like different brightly colored bows or something on it. I think that looks so cool. I've used the postal wrapping paper, that brown sort of like butcher's paper that you can wrap stuff up in order to send it in the post. I love the look of that. It's very old-fashioned. I've used the flyers that come in the newspaper, brightly colored. I've used magazines, so cut up pieces of magazine, especially if it's like a smaller gift. I think that looks kind of cool. You can sort of position a particular part of the picture on the actual gift as you're wrapping it. I like that. I think that has kind of a neat look to it. And of course, I've reused paper shopping bags, and sometimes even plastic shopping bags too, depending on the kind of plastic bag it is. So there's a couple ways that I use paper bags. So this is a printed paper bag. I'll just slice it down one side, open it up flat so that I have a nice big flat piece, and I'll use the unprinted side, so the inside, to show as the outside part of the present. Because it's really nice paper, and it has that sort of that butcher's block or that postal paper look to it, so that nice old-fashioned brown paper. And also, sometimes when you're shopping, you might be given those paper shopping bags that have like the little handles to them. If they have print on them, I'll do the same thing. I'll sort of slice down one side, open it up, and wrap it so that the inside of the bag is showing as the outside, because then it's all nice and plain. And sometimes it's different colors. Like you might have, it might be white, or it might be striped, or it might just be like a just sort of an overall different color, which can look really neat. If it's plain like this one, I might just reuse it as a bag the way it is, put a bit of tissue in it, and that's what I wrap the gift in. So I like to reuse those bags for not necessarily as cheap, but also on the reusable end of things. I like to use pretty kerchiefs, so like headscarves, like those big square sort of silk scarves. Depending on where you shop, sometimes you can find them for fairly, like, not super cheap, but they can be kind of considered part of the gift. So if you know that person loves to wear like a lot of scarves around their neck or something, you can consider just wrapping the gift in it. Or if you're the type of family that likes to reuse wrapping from one year to the next, sort of over and over and over, you can find a lot of really pretty printed silk scarves like this, sometimes that are never even used, at secondhand stores. A lot of people get them, don't use them, or only wear them a couple times and realize it's not really for me, and they'll send them off to the secondhand store. So if you do find some, you can usually find them for pretty cheap. You can take them home, give them a nice wash, and then wrap your gifts up in them, and then every year you can reuse that kerchief. And it's so simple. You just basically put the present in the middle of the big open square, like so, and just bring the corners together, tie one sort of set of opposite corners, and then tie the other set of opposite corners, and it just looks so cute. Or you could bring all of them together and put an elastic around it and kind of turn it into a big sort of like poof, put a little tag on it, you know, a little present topper. It looks really neat, and it kind of adds a little more kind of creativity under the tree. So I like the way that looks. And of course, you can just use reusable shopping bags. So you can buy reusable shopping bags everywhere now, and those are great. You can wrap it up the present in it, and then they can have a reusable shopping bag, so it's kind of like two gifts in one, or make them. Depending on how big the present is, if you make, like, say, our fruit and vegetable mesh shopping bag, you can line it with some pretty tissue and put the present, or wrap the presents in tissue paper so they can't see the presents, but then of course they have this really useful bag afterwards. So it's a two-in-one kind of gift. So that's what I like to wrap presents in. Then I like to tie up my gifts. So whether I'm using tape or not, I like to use ties. I've got some options here. Obviously, I like to use yarn. I'll use one strand, maybe a few different strands of different colors all together, like sort of spun together. I might chain a long length and use the chained length as the tie. I might also braid some yarn together, just depends on the look I'm going for, maybe how much time I have. But you can use string, hemp cord. I've got some pretty cording that I found still in the package at the local secondhand store. There's some more cording. You can use embroidery floss. I tend to sort of save this stuff all year round. So like if I get something and it's all tied up with, like this for example is some sort of hemp string, I'll take it off, whatever it came wrapped up in, and I'll bundle it up and put it in a Ziploc bag, and then whenever I want to go tie up a gift, I've got sort of a bunch of this stuff readily available. That actually came off a hat. I didn't particularly like this on the hat. It was a summer, sort of a summer sun hat. So I just took it off, and then I've got this nice little bit of braided cord that I can wrap around a smaller gift. And that just looks neat. I love the way a tied up gift looks. It just looks, I guess, old-fashioned, but I love that look. So that's sort of me tying up the gift, and then I almost always have something on top of the gift. So in addition to the gift tags, and we've talked about that, and the gift tags themselves can sometimes be the present topper enough, doesn't need anything more. But if it's just a simple little paper tag that I've added, I might, depending on the theme or the feel I'm going for, I'll put other stuff on top of it too. Like, so if I like that natural look, and I love black and white print newspaper with a brightly colored tie, so some yarn or maybe some braided cord or something, and then I love like natural stuff. Like I go out and I get a bunch of little pine cones, or I snip some greenery or some grapevine or something from the backyard, and I have that worked onto it. Mr. InStitches chopped up a log for me earlier in the year, and some of them he put little holes through, some of them he didn't. This is also stuff that I like to work into the top of a present. That's a piece of wood with holes drilled into it, so I can actually run the yarn up through it and have it sort of stuck to the top of the gift without actually having to use glue or anything. So I like that natural look. That looks really pretty. Maybe some dried flowers, something, you know, anything kind of like maybe some dried leaves if I had some left over from the fall. Just stuff that kind of has like a natural look to it. If it's kind of a sweet or playful look that I'm going for, I'll use candy. Like there's a whole Pez dispenser that looks kind of fun. That's a fun little thing on a gift. Or I'll get those, they're usually you find them at Halloween, but not always. Sometimes they just sort of make small snack-sized wraps of candy or chocolates, and these make a nice little present topper too. In fact, some of these have got such a big seal that with a hole punch, you can punch a little hole through it and just tie it onto the gift like you would the tag, and that's just like a nice little addition for something sweet on top. I might do like little toys or sheets of new stickers, anything that has like the little hole at the top that it's, you know, it was sort of on display in the shop with. It's already got a hole in it, so you can just sort of tie it right onto the gift alongside the tag. So those are some, those are just some like little, they're stick-ons, but they're like little embroidered patches. I think they're cute. I might also do like toys, like if it's for someone who's young or young at heart, I love those blind bags. You can kind of get blind bag versions of just about anything now. And again, there's a little hole already in the package, so you can just tie it right on. You don't have to use tape or glue or anything. And then it's like, it's a gift on top of the gift you're giving. I love to do that. Stackable gifts. And then if it's for like any of the crafty members of my friends or family, I'll top it with crafty stuff. So again, so new buttons, there's a little hole already in the top of that, so I can just tie that on. Maybe a whole package of new spools of thread. The dollar store has lots of cool stuff like this. Then I've got a little package of little bonbon-sized balls of yarn. I could include the whole package on top of a present, especially if it's a big one, or I might take that apart and just, especially if I had like a whole bunch of gifts for that same person, I might include a single one of these little bonbon-sized balls of yarn on top of each of their gifts, because that just looks kind of cute and it's part of a larger theme. I might use some dried flowers. My mother-in-law loves to do stuff with dried flowers, so adding some dried flowers to the top of her gifts is something she likes. And then, you know, whatever else kind of takes your fancy. I've got jingle bells or stuff to kind of, my mother-in-law loves to add noisy things to the top of her gifts. So when you get your gift, it's like making all this noise before you open it. That's fun. And then if it's like a theme, so for example, if the gift that I'm giving is like a new doll or a whole new doll set of clothing or something, I might top the gift with a little something that either hints at what's inside or is part of what's inside. So if it's like a gift for a doll or it is a doll, I might include like a little doll hat. So I've whipped up a little doll hat. It's part of the overall outfit and it sits up on top of the present, or like a little pair of doll slipper boots or something. And that's just kind of like it's part of the gift. And it also kind of hints at what's inside. So I like to do that too. Wrapping gifts is so much fun. I probably spend more time on the gifts sometimes than I do on actually making them or picking them out. But it's so neat. And of course they spend some time typically sitting under the tree if I manage to get them all done before the 24th. And it's nice to be able to look at all of those fancy little wrapped things. So anyway, hope to do a bit of that this afternoon, maybe this evening. And I thought I would share with you some of my ideas. So if you're kind of short on supplies or ideas or even wrapping paper, hopefully some of that will get you wrapping gifts. That's it for today, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Mr. InStitches. Thanks for watching today's Christmas video diary. Here are some other videos you might be interested in. Just click on one to watch it. Have a wonderful day and stay crafty.